Hello children, welcome to Kiss Story World. Today we are going to read a story, Mog on Fox Night. One day, Mog did not want to eat her supper. It was fish, but Mog always had an egg for breakfast. She thought, why shouldn't I have an egg for supper as well? She looked at the fish. Then she looked at Mrs. Thomas. She made a sad face. Oh dear, said Mrs. Thomas. Perhaps that fish isn't very nice. I will give her some kitty food, said Nicky. Mog looked at the kitty food. Then she looked at Nicky. She made even sadder face. I know, said Debbie. She wants an egg. Just then, Mr. Thomas came in from the garden. Mr. Thomas had been putting the bean bags out from the out for the bean man to take away in the morning. Mr. Thomas did not like doing the bean bags. He liked it even less when it was snowing. And he was cross. He said, "You spoiled that cat. That cat has been given 2 supper and has left them both. She is not to be given an egg as well. In fact, if that cat doesn't eat every bit of those 2 suppers, she will not get an egg for her breakfast either." And he put the egg back in the fridge. Mog was very sad when the egg went back in the fridge. She was also very cross. She hissed at Mr. Thomas. Then she hissed at the fridge. And then she ran through her cat flap and out in the garden. The garden was very cold. There was snow everywhere. But there was no snow under the bean bags. Mog crept under a bean bag and went to sleep. Debbie and Nicky were sad too when they went to bed. Mog never eats anything she doesn't like, said Debbie. She will never eat that fish and the kitty food. And then she won't get an egg for her breakfast, said Nicky. She will be so cross. Mog was cross even in her sleep. She had a cross dream. It was a dream about Mr. Thomas. Mr. Thomas had put all the eggs in the world into a bean bag. He wanted to take the bean bag away. Mog tried to stop him. Suddenly, she woke up. There was snow all over her. The bean bag had gone. Had Mr. Thomas taken it away? She looked. Then she thought, this is too much. First, they gave me a horrible supper, and now there is a fox in my garden. The fox had made a hole in the bean bag and was pulling things out of it. What is he doing? Thought Miss Mog. The fox ate one of the things he had pulled out of the bean bag. It was a chicken bone. Then he ate something else. It was a piece of fish. Mog knew that piece of fish she had left in her dish the day before. It had not been the nice then, she thought. That fox is mad. Then she saw something else. The fox had a little fox. No, he had 2 little foxes. He was giving them bits of it to eat out of the bean bag. But one of the little foxes only wanted to play. It played with the snow. It played with a twig. It played with an old tin. And then it wanted to play with Mog. Mog thought, I don't want to play with that little fox. And she ran through her cat flap and back into the house. But the little fox ran after her. And the other little fox ran after the first little fox. And the big fox ran after them both. Mog thought, this is really too much. First, they give me a horrible supper. Then there is a fox in my garden. And now there are 3 foxes in my kitchen. The foxes like Mog's kitchen. They like the sink. They like the pots and pans. They like the kitchen cupboard. And the breakfast table. And Mog's breakfast. Mog thought, there are too many foxes here. I am going. She found a much nicer place and went to sleep. Very early in the morning, she woke up. Debbie woke up too. Debbie said, look, who is in my bed? Why aren't you in your basket, Mog? Nikki said, I wonder she is eating her supper. Then they went down to the kitchen to see. Mog's 2 dishes were empty. She eaten it, said Nikki. Then they saw something else. I don't think it was Mog's who ate it, said Debbie. The foxes thought it was time to go home. They ran out through the cat flap. Then they ran off through the garden. It had stopped snowing and it was a lovely day. Debbie and Nikki tidied the kitchen. They tidied up every bit. Now you can go back in your basket, Mog, said Nikki. Just then, Mr. and Mrs. Thomas came in. Mr. Thomas looked at the empty dishes. There, he said, what a good cat. I knew Mog would eat her supper in the end. Debbie and Nikki said nothing. After all, they thought no one really knew who had eaten Mog's supper. Mog had a lovely egg for her breakfast. She was very pleased. And the foxes were pleased too. The end. Children, if you want to hear more nice stories, please subscribe my channel. Bye.